started the Sugarloaf Project, our goal wasn't necessarily to build a path for people, but to protect the mountain itself. What's resulted is a curvily constructed upland path that serves both nature and the people who come to enjoy it. The Sugarloaf is one of Ireland's most iconic mountainscapes, but it has also become one of the most broken. Decades of cumulative footfall and washout had eroded multiple gouges with consequent habitat loss and visual scarring. The urgency to act was clear. This wasn't about creating a trail for convenience, it was about safeguarding the long-term health of the mountain. Every technique, every decision was grounded in best practice for upland conservation and sustainable access. The path is not the objective, it's the tool for protecting what's surrounded. Our approach combined extensive site analysis, topographical assessment and ecological mapping. Before a single stone was even laid, the terrain was studied in detail to determine optimal path lines. Lines that align with natural contours and hydrology, minimising intervention while maximising longevity. Every metre of path was designed not only to endure, but to integrate visually, structurally and ecologically.
So the Sugarloaf Project started with a conversation, like most of these things do, and I wrote the application and we got the funding back in 2021. There's quite a lot of planning and stuff involved, so throughout 2022 and 2023 we were putting it through a Part 8 planning process. We did a lot of extensive consultation and environmental screening works. And that got us to a point where in 2024 we could go out to tender with a really detailed spec that had taken about 6 months to put together under the UPAG guidelines, which is all around best practice in upland path building. We'd also spent a lot of time with the local landowners who were really supportive of the project and we're very grateful for that. So the tender process took about 6 weeks, it's quite quick, and we had work began on the ground in July 2024. So it was about 7 months' work. We finished in late February. So part of that contract is that we have a 5-year maintenance program. So every year the contractor will come back in and repair anything that's been damaged by severe weather. And that just protects the project into the future and protects the mountain for generations to come.
When it rains, our biggest enemy on the path is water. So we have to keep water off the path. So down along the sides of the path, you'll see a side drain. We dug out a side drain here. And anywhere we can cross it, across the path, we put in what's called a cross drain. As you can see, if water comes down the path, it's going to fall into this trap and divert off down the mountain that way and keep it off the path here and stop further erosion.
So the V-ditches down the side are to control water from coming onto the trail first and foremost. And the style that we've done is a turf line, so to get the grass back up, that will control the water. And yeah, in a year or two, hopefully with a bit of reseeding and stuff, you won't notice them, they'll be all green.
So, typical example of an anchor bar. So it's basically a single or sometimes double row of stones. There might be a row buried where you can't see. The purpose is to stabilise the slope using not too steep a ground, but ground that's steep enough that simple gravel or even fines will move by gravity. So you're bedding in these stones so they won't move, but they give an appropriate rise for the foot and they guide the user along, and they don't present too much of an obstacle, but they give you that stability. Okay, so upland style boulder pitching, they're bringing together into a really complicated but really well-designed jigsaw puzzle of big blocks that give you an opportunity for feet to choose an alternative way of getting up each step. So you can have big steps, small steps, coming down, they're all giving you a stable place to put your foot and allowing your eye to choose a careful but stable way to get up or down the hill. Where we have a defined line, we also have desire lines that we want to discourage use. So we're using a variety of techniques to block or take the eye away from that line. Vegetation, brush, discreetly placed boulders and line ditches to make your eye follow the preferred way.
Precision, effort and scale defined the work behind this project. So in total, we had 180 tonnes of boulders that we repositioned by helicopter, and they were to stabilise and to shape the path. There were 400 metres of hand stone pitching laid across the steep sections, and that just gives a really robust and natural surface. We had another 200 tonnes of borrowed aggregate from this site, placed in other areas of the site, and they made a solid foundation underfoot. Then to manage water sustainably, water is the main trail damager really. We had 575 metres of turf-lined drainage ditches built, along with 25 really well-placed stone water bars, and they're designed to control the runoff and reduce erosion on the route. Each of those figures might sound a lot, but every one was a deliberate and targeted intervention. Not just to make it look pretty, which it does, but to deliver a lasting ecological benefit and structural resilience for the mountain. This mountain is home to more than just walkers, and the Sugarloaf's ecosystem is very finely balanced. So by containing human impact to a single and carefully designed path, we reduce the habitat fragmentation and we allow the native species around here to thrive. There's meadow pipits and wrens and cuckoos nesting amongst the heather, and you can see all around there's gorse, ling heather and bracken, and they make a really dense and protective understory. So every aspect of this project was designed to be visually discreet and to be ecologically supportive. And within like 5 to 8 years, you won't see the big line that you can see behind us here. It'll just be a small little faint path doing its work really quietly. So this is just one phase in a broader ecological strategy, with future efforts focusing on enhancing our native biodiversity, strengthening ecosystem resilience, and deepening our understanding of how sustainable path construction can support long-term environmental stewardship in this county. Just like any structure, routine housekeeping and maintenance are vital to preserve the function and extend the life cycle, and making sure that this path continues to serve its purpose for decades to come. And what we've built here is resilient, enduring, and above all respectful of this extraordinary place.
The Sugarloaf Project is a model for how we can balance access and protection. It's a collaboration between planners, path builders, ecologists, and the public, all working together to leave this mountain better than we found it.